Overflows.
What happens when creativity arises? Creativity is at the core of building quality in design. People rarely innovate when they simply follow instructions. Creativity is the act of doing something in an unconventional way, meaning spontaneous. The act of creating something meaningful that changes you and hence the world. Traditionally, in an industrial world, only artists were meant to be creative. Painters, dancers, poets, and so on. In the knowledge world, every professional has an opportunity and a need to be creative, to see patterns that others do not see, to create and initiate. Creativity means unleashing the forces within. Creativity means unleashing the forces within. This is the title of a book by Osho. Creativity is unleashing the forces within, means creativity is an inherent state of being, not a skill expressed through spontaneity, freedom from mental conditioning, and love for life. It is about bringing a fresh, unique perspective to any act, moving beyond conventional methods and external expectations to find joy and meaning in the process itself. Ego is the enemy of creativity. You are at your creative best when you do things because you find an unexplainable joy in doing it, because it has an intrinsic value to you. When you do things with the purpose of gaining recognition or anything else, it means you want to satisfy your ego. Then creativity is limited. Our need for external validation for our work stops us from being receptive, open, and curious to the unknown forces. Creativity is a paradox, difficult to understand, because the more you try to be creative, the less creative you will be. Conscious effort to be creative comes in your way to be creative really. Creativity is natural and spontaneous overflow of energy. Creativity is natural and spontaneous overflow of energy. Remember, creativity really flows. Creativity means being in a state flow, being with the work, being in the work is the key to be creative, says Osho. It is not a question of what you do. It is a question of how you do it. And ultimately, it is a question of whether you do it or you allow it to happen. So creativity is something that when you are open and allow things to happen through you naturally and spontaneously, as if you are a hollow bamboo and the existence flows it in the form of music. This indeed is the essence of creativity. Creativity means letting go of past. Creativity means being now and here. Too much reliance on our past stops you from being creative. Creative person is the one who lives in the moment. He understands the context, that looks at possibilities. Osho rightly says, to bring intelligence into activity, you do not need more information. You need more meditation. You need to become less mind and more of heart. Creativity is the function of heart. Creativity is an inner gain. It stems from your love for the subject. It stems from your love for the subject. It stems from your passion to practice, your courage to try and learn, to doing. If your act is your love affair, then it becomes creative. If your act is your love affair, it becomes creative. Creativity is the quality you bring to the activity you are doing. It is an attitude, an inner approach, how you look at things. Whatever you do, if you do it joyfully, if you do it lovingly, then it is creative. Creativity demands a lot of courage. Because doing something unconventionally requires you to take risks, be prepared for failure, and learn from it. Once you recognize and respect external validation, keeps us from experimenting because we are too afraid to feel. Once you recognize and respect external validation, this will keep you from experimenting because you are too afraid to fail. Creativity is not always about doing something that no one has done before. But in my view, it is always about executing your ideas with great love, great joy, and a deep interest. If world recognizes it, you will be grateful. If not, you will still find intrinsic joy and happiness. Being creative is a selfish act. Introspect on creativity.